A very good afternoon and a hearty welcome to everyone. This is Shraddha Mishra, Ambassador of Change from Getty, that is Global Education and Training Institute, and I'll be the host for the live talk today. I'm very honored to tell that Getty is founded and conceptualized by Dr. Sunita Gandhi with a broad vision of disruptive education. Also, it is one of the most premium training institutes of India. Under it, we provide two types of training. One is pre service, where we teach aspiring teachers who wish to be outstanding teachers in future. And the other is in service, where we train teachers who are already working in the service. On these live forums, we conduct live talks where we invite bureaucrats, policymakers, researchers, entrepreneurs from around the globe to enlighten us with the varied educational practices carried out. Hence, these endeavors. Today, this afternoon, I'm very privileged and thrilled to have with us on board Mr. Mohammed Elwishy. Welcome to you, sir. He is the chairman of the board of Tourism Al Arab Association. He is a certified trainer from Kingston Business Academy, UK. He is the general coordinator of the professional diploma of certified translator from Kingston Business Academy and the Egyptian Translators and Linguists Association. He is also the vice president of the Abna Al Dhad Forum. He is the member of Egyptian Translators and Linguists Association Egypt, member of Translators Union Lebanon, member of the Moroccan Translators Association Morocco. Also, he had given more than 60 lectures on his YouTube channel in general and religious translation in Turjuman Al Arab YouTube channel. So you have created so many benchmarks, and there is so much and so forth to learn from you. So without a much ado, I would like to hear all your valuable inputs on such an important topic that is making critical thinking visible in the classroom in depth. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this chance. And of course, I have to give you the credit as we were talking before live that really I'm so grateful for you and for getting to give me the chance to be with you for this global institution. And
Thank you.
really, I am an honor to just like choose this critical topic, critical thinking as well. To be honest, critical thinking is important in our life, even before going to be a teacher. Critical thinking for me, it means life as well, because in our life we have options, okay, and these options need to think well. So critical thinking before working as teacher or working as a translator or working as an engineer, a doctor, or whatsoever, you need to think before you decide. You need to think before you have the chance to say, I will choose this or I will choose that. Of course, in our life we have a lot of options that we need to think well to choose whatever we're going to choose, this option or that option. And that's why we have this critical topic, critical thinking. So today, inshallah, we are going to talk about critical thinking in these following points. The first one, what is it? Secondly, why is it important? And how does it improve teaching and learning specifically? So active engagement in lecture is going to be about a person A states his or her understanding of what has been said, then elaborates. And here we go for person B agrees or disagree with the interpretations or adds to the interpretations, then give an example of it, relating the idea to something in life. And that's critical thinking, just like a kind of debate. I have an idea, I have an opinion, I have a point of view, then the other one will hear my point of view or my idea or even my answer as a teacher, okay? And then he's gonna give us his opinion or his point of view or his idea about does he agree with that or he doesn't, okay? And that's why critical thinking is all about elaboration of ideas, just like brainstorming of ideas. I'm not saying that people are always right, but some people can add to the idea, just like we can call it masala or spices, and that's why critical thinking is important in our life. Critical thinking, you can use it individually if you're thinking about how to choose, as mentioned early. And of course, you can just use it if you want to make your idea more elaborate, make your idea more specific, and make your idea more spicy, as we can say. And person B states his or her understanding of what has been said, then elaborates. Here we go for person A one more time, agrees or disagree with the interpretation or adds to the interpretation, then gives an example of it, relating the idea to something alive. So why concern ourselves with thinking? Just like before, we can go through critical thinking, our topic, our main event for today's session, why we have to concern thinking. Because whenever we are dealing with human life, we are almost always dealing with thinking. Thinking the way that the mind makes sense of the world. And without thinking, we can't say that we are humans at all. Because Allah the Almighty, when He created us, He just like adds something to us that which makes us unique, and it's mind or brain. And we have to use our minds or our brains in a very, very good way. And this good way is thinking before you decide something. And that's why we have the chance to choose whatever is good for us or even is bad for us. And the options of choosing whatever is this option or that option, this choice or that choice, it's all about thinking. Think before you choose. Think before you decide. Then you will have the ability to say, I'm responsible for my actions. I'm responsible for whatever I choose for myself. There is no way to understand anything except through thinking. Just like when I say an idea, maybe these ideas are the first time to hear these ideas at this time. So how can I decide whatever I'm gonna choose this idea or that idea? Maybe this idea needs to just like look through the idea, not just like the face of the idea itself, but just like through the idea. So without thinking, how can we understand the whole topic of the situation? How we can decide whatever this is the best option for us or not? So that's why thinking is important. And thinking tells us what there is, what is happening, what our problems are. And this is an important element of the importance of thinking. What our options are, what threatens us, what is important, what is unimportant, who our friends are, and unfortunately, who our enemies are, and what our history is, and who we are, and who loves us. Thinking determines what we learn, how we learn, what we think is important to learn, what effort we should expand, what we think is true, what we think is false, and how things will be viewed, whether our learning is of high or low quality. Just like if we go deeper in this slide, just like just imagine we don't have thinking in our life. So how we can judge our learning? How we can judge how we are learning? Just imagine without thinking how we can know this important matters or not. How we can think about the effort that we should expend. Just like without thinking how we can say that it is true or false. Without thinking how we can say that things are right before viewing it. And of course, without thinking how we can know that our learning is, we can just like determine is it of high quality or low quality or even middle quality. And of course, whether our learning is deep or superficial. So everything we know, believe, want, fear, and hope for our thinking tells us all about that. Think of some problem behavior you didn't engage in. Now we can just like enroll the teaching and learning strategy about critical thinking. So we have to think of some problem behavior our students will be engaged in, and see if we can identify the thinking that leads to the behavior. So thinking is the core of the curriculum. So just imagine we can't use the thinking structure in our lessons, in our education, in our teaching, in classes, in sessions, in even live sessions, in even Zoom sessions. So I think that the teaching process is going to be boring because we just like have something we call the curriculum. And the curriculum is telling us what the students are going to have in exams later on, the first term, second term, or third term, or whatsoever. So without thinking, just like it's going to be copy and paste. So we can just like memorize whatever is in the box and whatever in the curriculum, and then we are going to paste it in the exam, whatever is going to be oral exam or written exam, and end of the story. But thinking makes just like this idea, this information a part of our life. And of course, with thinking, we're not going to, of course, we are humans, we're going to forget something about our information, about our data, about whatever we learned before in our life, because that's nature of humans to just like forget. But if you just like enroll thinking process, especially critical thinking in our education, in our daily life situations, I think the process of forgetting information is going to be so low because thinking now is a part of your life. It's just a part of your education process. So my advice to all teachers, not just like you the traditional ways of teaching, just like teaching the students everything about the curriculum, and outside the curriculum, it's not allowed. It's banned. Of course, the book is whatever it's student book, workbook, activity book, learner's book, student CP, student book, or workbook or whatsoever. My advice to teachers, just like be thankful out of the box, not just like we are going to teach whatever in the book only. Of course, we have to have high expectations of ourselves as teachers and our students as well. So that's why we can say thinking in the core of the curriculum. And without thinking, it's just like, as I said before, it's going to be copy and paste. Copy the information from the book and paste it to the minds of students. And after a while, after the exam, I assure you, as a teacher for almost 12 years, these people were gonna forget everything because they didn't think about it. They just like keep it by heart. They just memorize. And of course, there is a difference between memorizing the thing that you already know, that you already think of it before you just like memorize, and just like memorizing before just like thinking about it, and you are memorizing the situation or the idea or the information because you have an exam. And after the exam, I assure you, you will forget everything. And as a teacher, maybe you're gonna forget this matter as well because you didn't give it a think time or a thinking time. So my advice for you, just think before you prepare your lesson, and of course even think during your preparation, and of course think after the preparation is over, especially when you give the questions to the students just like a feedback or something. And critical thinking is a self-directed process by which we take deliberate steps to think at the highest levels of quality. And as I said before, we have three levels, as we know: low achievers, middle achievers, and high achievers. Critical thinking is the process that we can go up from lower achievers and the medium achievers to our students of high quality or high level that as teachers we need to use all the time, and that's our you know, trials since day one as teachers to make all our students just like in the same level. Of course, we have differentiations. We have students of low levels, middle levels, and high levels as well. But by using critical thinking, I think we're gonna just like elaborate the minds and the thoughts of people who are in low levels or middle levels to be just like hand to hand or head to head with the people of high levels as well, because it's just like enrichment of ideas, enrichment of opinions, enrichment of information, that everyone is sharing the knowledge with each other, just like fire away, just like put the topic title on the board, and just like give them just like hot question, just like a question that everyone should answer according to his abilities and the capacities, and just like using this strategy, critical thinking, I assure you, everyone is going to be engaged in the lesson, everyone is going to be engaged in the session, everyone is going to be engaged in your classroom. And the most important thing, everyone in your class is going to be active. And I can say critical thinking leads to active learners and active students, that as teachers, we are searching a lot to have all our classroom members engage in our sessions. And of course, we have two types, according to my preparation, that we have two types of thinking. The first one we call it red thinking. The second one we can call it green thinking. Red thinking, it's higher order executive function, thinking that analyzes, assesses, and improves green thinking. So from this point, we can say that red thinking leads to green thinking. And here we go for green thinking, which is instinctive, automatic, spontaneous thinking, unconsciously guided. So with the red one, of course, we can't go through the green one. So, what about going deeper in green thinking? It's unconscious mixture of high quality and low quality thinking. And of course, if we are going to use what you can call it as English teachers adjectives, so the proper adjectives for green thinking is going to be spontaneous, impulsive, reflexive, subconscious, self-protecting, self-validating, uncontrolled, and unanalyzed. And of course, this green thinking includes ideas that are valid as well as nonsense, confusion, stereotypes, prejudice. The key is that we cannot distinguish the differences between high and low quality thought in green thinking mode. And the green thinking goes without assessing itself. Just like we can say it's a preparation step for what we can call critical thinking. And as I mentioned before, without green thinking, we're not going to have the red thinking. The red thinking is our ambition all the time, is our hope from all of our students. And here we go for rethinking. Rethinking stops and assesses itself before going forward. So, if we are going to use the proper adjectives as teachers for the rethinking, we can just like describe it as disciplined, seeks the truth, self assessing, and of course, we can call it it's a critical thinking itself. As I told you before, green thinking leads to rethinking. So when you have your rethinking, it means that you have now the official critical thinking. And of course, it's self-correcting and probing as well. So in rethinking mode, we actively work to eliminate prejudice, biases, dysfunctional thinking from our thinking. We actively work on our thinking. And of course, we religiously apply intellectual standards to our thinking as well. All about rethinking. So we can say that the critical thinking mind equals the educated mind. So I'm not saying that everyone is not thinking is not educated, that's Allah or something, but I'm telling you that critical thinking mind is always superior, is always having something which is not proper for everyone. It's not easy for everyone to have the ability to think in a critical way, and to add one more thing, in a critical, fast way. I think you have something we call it gift. We can call it a talent, and we can call it it's a need for us as teachers to have what we can call critical thinking. And of course, as teachers, we are using a lot of strategies, a lot of methodology, a lot of just like ways of teaching a lot but we can use critical thinking in every session, whatever the other strategy is going to be. But critical thinking should be just like an important part of our session or our classroom strategies or something. And of course, as I said before, we have a lot of يعني, strategies, a lot of methods, a lot of ways of teaching. But critical thinking should be just like an important part and parcel of our periods, of our sessions, of our classes, because I think that is the way to have outstanding session from your coordinators, head of departments or something. So critical thinking is the way to succeed, is the way to be just like a very very good teacher. And of course, maybe sometimes you're gonna just like be an outstanding teacher that the people wants to just like be like you. So it's gonna be like this. Use critical thinking in your classroom sessions, and of course, in just like a very few time, you're gonna just like find yourself in a very very different way, in a very elaborate way, in a very just like unique way, outstanding way that all teachers want to learn from you, want to attend your sessions so they can learn something. So substantive learning, we have almost five elements for substantive learning, and they are: we have to read it, hear it, say it, write it, and then apply it. It's gonna be just like five important elements of substantive learning: read it, hear it, say it, apply it, and of course, write it. So that's for you. You can do it, inshallah, just like a homework or something. So, what is critical thinking? And to be clear in writing, you have to mention the following steps. You have to mention the state, elaborate, and exemplify and or illustrate. And you're gonna write about the most important thing you know about critical thinking in this form. Critical thinking is incomplete, or in other words, and then you can complete. And of course, for example, you can complete as well. And think for yourself, beginning to think about your thinking. And this is a very important thing as well, because it's not just like a word we are saying also, I'm thinking. Okay, so what about giving your thinking a think as well? Think about your thinking. Is it a proper one or it's not proper? Is just like in a high level, or is still in a low level or middle level as well? So, to begin to think about your thinking, make a list of any problems you believe currently exist with your thinking, and try to be as implicit as possible. The more problems you identify, the better. For each problem you identify, complete the following statements. Just like make it just like a part of your preparation for your lesson, and it's going to be not just like for English teachers or something. It's going to be for every teacher who wants to have an outstanding session or outstanding lesson. So it's going to be like this: three important elements, yeah, that you have to complete as statements. The first one problem with my thinking is, and of course, as you are saying, we have to face our problems to solve them, or the way to solve your problems is to face them. So one problem with my thinking is, and of course you know yourself better than the others, so you're going to complete the statement. The second one, this is a problem because you have to say why we have this problem as teachers or as human beings as well. And the most important one, if I adequately address this problem, the quality of my life would improve in the following ways. And of course, you have to complete this one as well. Now think for yourself, and that's important as well. It's so important. So we said before that we have to think about our thinking. Now we have to think for ourselves as well. And this is a critic for our thinking. Consider your thinking in these domains of your life: at work, in personal relationships, in teaching in intimate relationships as a reader, as a writer, as a teacher, in planning your life as just like a human being, okay? And of course, as I mentioned before early in the session, that critical thinking is not just like for teachers as well. Because some people are saying, okay, critical thinking, you are talking now about teacher strategies or something. Critical thinking is a part of our life as a doctor, as an engineer, as a professor, as a human being as well, as a mom at home, as a father at home as well. You have to elaborate this idea in your kids, in your children's mind, that of course you have to take time before you decide. You have to use your mind before you say yes or no. Of course, it's not about teachers. Of course, as a teacher, it help it helps us a lot in our sessions to be successful and to be excellent or outstanding or even very good. But critical thinking is for life. It's about our life as well. So, as I said before, you have to consider our thinking in these domains of our lives at work, in personal relationships, in teaching, in intimate relationships, as readers, as writers, as teachers, in our planning for our life, in dealing with our emotions, our feelings, in figuring out complex situations, and we can complete these statements to know what we are going to do. First one, right now, I believe my thinking across all domains of my life is of, and then you can complete the quality, and I pay this judgment on, and then you can complete as well. In the following areas, I think very well, and of course, you can complete. And as I mentioned before, you know yourself better than the others. So there is no one that's going to help you in this because you have to do it yourself. Take your time, think properly, and complete these statements. And I assure you, you will know your problem. And of course, now you are working to solve it. And in the following areas, my thinking is okay, not great, but not terrible either, easier. So the first one, you're thinking well, and of course, that's the target that we are searching to get. The second one, it's okay, but not great. So we can say it's not terrible either. And of course, in the following areas, my thinking is probably of low quality. And now we have a problem. And of course, we have to search about the solution of this problem. And we have to list at least three areas for each of the above. Thank you so much for attending this session with me. And of course, I have to give a special thanks to Giti for choosing me to be a part of this global and international institution. Thank you so much. Grazia, Khuda Hafiz, Assalamu alaikum, and Alvida.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your words. Thank you for your valuable input on this important topic of making critical thinking visible in the classroom. We are very grateful. Please allow me to ask a very small question.
Please, ma'am.
Yeah. I wanted to know, we all wanted to know that how can we train teachers of primary and junior level to encourage small students in the classroom to give emphasis on critical thinking? I mean, what should be the initial steps that should be told to the teachers for this critical thinking emphasis on the, like in the classrooms for the students?
To be honest, just like any knowledge in our life, just like about two things only. The first one, it's talent. We can say it's a God's given talent. Allah give us a talent for think, for just like think properly, or even not thinking at all in a proper way. It's just like a talent. So if you have this talent, we have to just like give it an education, and of course we can do this through two steps. The first step, just like a session, just like we are attending right now. So if teachers just like are interested to know a lot about critical thinking, how they can apply it in classrooms, just like you are my guest right now, just like to be my guest and attend sessions on Getty or even on YouTube channels, or even in any workshops that will allow us to just like think out of the box or have what we can call critical thinking as well. And from administration of schools, it's not all about curriculum anymore because people are still thinking, especially in some countries, okay, you are educated. How you are educated? Okay, yeah, I have a teacher. This teacher memorizes the whole book from the cover to the cover, and he's gonna just like make all of the students memorize this topic from the cover to the cover. And now we have the exam. They write everything about the book, and the end of the exam, ask them right now. Did you remember anything from the exam that you just like answered a few hours ago? What
Hmm.
you say? What was the question? To be honest, because he didn't think about it, he just like memorized it. Okay,
Yeah.
so for yeah, I have a message for the administration of schools that we have to have workshops for how to teach critical thinking, how to make critical thinking a part of our sessions or classrooms. And as I told you before, you can start it, especially from early stages, like primary stages, because these people, if you told them how to think properly before they decide, how to think before they answer, it's not just like, sir, may I? Okay, answer now, you don't know. And even you can say an answer which is not related to the question itself, because just take your breath, okay, and think about the matter, and then you can just give me the answer. It's not about raising your hand all the time. It's about think of the answer, just like elaborate your answer, make it unique, not just like an ordinary answer. Make your answer the answer. So you can do this through two ways: live sessions that we are so grateful for you and for Getty to have, and of course the sessions or the workshops that the administration of schools should have, just like per week, per month, even to have something just like workshop to teach teachers how we can just like use it in all stages, from grade 1 to grade 12 or grade 13 as well, just like in primary stage, in intermediate, and of course in high school.
Okay, sir, thank you so much. Thank you for clearing my doubt as well. And thank you for such an insightful session. You took out time from your busy schedule, and Getty as an institute and I as a host, we are really grateful for it. Your
No worries, ma'am.
presence truly magnified the cause in the best possible way. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for
No
being
worries,
a part.
ma'am. No worries, ma'am. And of course, as a translator, I can say that even translation, we can't say we are a good translation without critical thinking. And of course, as a bilingual bilingual individual,
Yeah.
even when you just like have a translation from Hindi to English, from English to Arabic, from Arabic to Spanish, you have to think about the proper way, the proper equivalent for your just like equivalent. Which one is gonna be just like in English? We have happiness, we have joy, we have pleasure. Which one you're gonna use in your context? You have to think as well. So critical thinking is a part of our life. As teachers, we have the big share of critical thinking, but even as human beings, we have to apply critical thinking in every matter of our life. And by God, if we do this, of course, we're gonna be special more than we think.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being a part
No
of
worries, ma'am.
Getty and of this
My honor,
important
ma'am.
mission of disruptive education.
My
Thank you,
honor,
sir.
ma'am. Thank you so much, of course. And I say something that's really through Giti. Now I can say I'm an international trainer, and thank you so much for that. And I hope that we can have one more time for critical topic, just like critical thinking, inshallah, in the coming future. And it's my honor to be a part of your global international institution. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.